From Yarm to Yibby, Harrington to Horsley Hill, Swalwell to Silverlink. The North East Footy Breakfast with Roy, Steve and Ted.
Right across the North East, the Red, the Toon and the Cat.
Oh, great news, fellas. Great news. He's been released. He's been released and he's back with us. We've paid the ransom.
I still was going to say...
Cyprus's answer to Terry Wade.
We paid too much. We paid too much. I still think we paid too much. We could have got another week at least.
Welcome back, Ted. Welcome back. The hostage,
Thank you. I missed you, lads. I missed you. With every
the hostage
bullet.
tapes were very funny.
We love the way
you had the wicked echo. You just had a wicked echo. It sounded like you were reading it like while someone was standing over you going, you better read these headlines. Like Dave was there with his presence. He locked you in the bathroom.
Well, to be fair, it's kind of what Mrs. Ted had done anyway, because it was. She reminded me. It was around about. I think I recorded them around about 10 o'clock, because obviously, had proper work to do. Yeah, and she actually woke me up from a nap to do them. So if one of them I sound a little bit out of it, it's not because I've been beaten round the head by my captors. It's because I literally just woke up. So, but it's nice to be back and do them live again, boys. Nice
good old Mrs. Ted, Mrs. Ted.
She's lovely. She saved the day.
She wakes him up to help the show.
I know.
I was
She's
going to
ruthless.
say, my missus wouldn't. And certainly
What can I
Rise
say? I
wouldn't.
fell on my feet.
Right, Rise missus, I'm absolutely certain she'll be absolutely sick of the show.
Yeah,
She's probably putting a pillow over his face on the night.
It's literally right on like dinner time and bath time here. So
no.
Yeah,
Have you got to go?
I feel guilty. It's good to be back. Full force, lads. And we got football back this weekend. Hey.
Thank God for that. Honestly.
Thank goodness me. What a weekend it is without the Borough.
What we've got for you today.
Hit me, Teddy boy.
Well, we've got a new trivia feature, boys. Honestly, this is going to beat them all. This one's called "What's the Fact?" That's what's the fact.
What's the fact? Do I need to get voiceover man to do a voiceover on it?
I'm going to have to be...
Well, I would love that. I would absolutely love that. But we've got a belter for you today. So, Dave, I hope you've prepared the mystery piano for today's trivia.
Mystery piano?
Daz hasn't deleted it off there. Yeah. We'll love that mystery piano.
We had kids singing, didn't we? And we had,
we don't like that.
We don't like that. No.
Me and Rye had night terrors.
Oh, okay,
No, that was scary.
And then we had this.
That's the one.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay,
Yeah, Daz has deleted it.
Not on you, Daz. Looking after us.
We're going to talk some international football as well. We've got to. I'm sorry.
Do we have to? Come on.
I know. We really do. Some of it's good, some of it's bad. Obviously, injuries have mounted up as well. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Kieran Trippier obviously withdrew from the England squad.
Yeah.
Dan Ballard's pulled out of the Northern Ireland squad with a hamstring problem. Yeah, it's starting to mount up already. I'm going to talk about a strange story that I saw over the weekend about the Newcastle owners potentially targeting Jose Mourinho of Eddie Howe.
Yeah.
That's mental, lad.
Saw that.
We'll talk a little bit about that. I'm sure Steve's got some strong opinions on that one.
Yeah.
Former Man City advisor Stefan Borson says that all hell will break loose if Premier League charges against Man City are proven. Obviously, Chelsea are probably going to be in that bucket as well. So, we're going to talk about that. And would the Premier League and FA really go for the jugular and try and relegate them? And then, obviously, staying on a similar sort of vein as well, the Premier League's top 6 clubs are set to be handed a greater proportion of winners' revenue in a move that could really shift their power, I guess. You're talking tens of millions difference, and obviously, the clubs down at the bottom are not going to get anywhere near that. And we've also got some readers' lives as well, so we're going to return to that. Ian the Spenny Mo Geordie's been in touch with a cracking little gag there, so we'll read that out as well. Yeah,
show and tell.
I'm quaking.
There's
in
no
my
show
boots.
and tell.
There's
no show and tell.
Oh, thank
Not
goodness
today.
for that.
Not today.
Oh, that sounds like there could be another day.
Yes, there's always another day.
Oh,
so, do you want your first clue on what the fact?
Yes.
Okay. So I have to cue. Do I have to cue piano music here?
That's why we love you, Dave.
We need
You're the
the
man.
what's- Oi.
There we go.
What's the
Ted's
fact?
trivia. What the fact?
Oh, what's the
What?
fact? Okay.
No. What's the fact?
Okay.
As in WTF. Yeah?
Yes.
What the
Yes. Yes. I got that, mate. I got that. You don't have to spell it
okay.
out for everyone.
No. It's fine. It's fine.
As in WTF, Dave.
Little raised eyebrows off.
Oh, I'm worried now. He's got me worried.
Okay, so first clue. Lothar Matthäus and Jürgen Klinsmann are examples of this fact.
Oh, easy. Germans.
No. So the idea is, I'm going to give you four statements.
You're saying
four
they're not
short
Germans?
statements.
You're saying they're not Germans?
They are, but that's not the fact we're looking for.
Okay.
So the idea is, I'm going to give you four short statements over the
Okay.
course of the show, and you have to guess what the fact is.
Do you want to give us a repeat of the question then?
The repeat of no, it's not a question, you see.
Sorry.
It's a clue.
The clue.
We're turned in detectives. Come on, Dave.
God, he's on one of them, isn't he? He's on one of them. Just because he's got freedom.
Lothar Matthäus and Jürgen Klinsmann are examples of this fact.
That music gets better as it goes further along.
It does,
doesn't
doesn't
Does, yeah, it actually
I think
does.
that
yeah.
little,
Strings,
bit of
I've got a
flute.
little bit of brass in there. Yeah. Oh, it's nice.
Dear
Yeah.
doctor. Dear doctor.
I will just
Okay,
come back
lie
in 20
back
minutes.
now.
and
Close your eyes.
What have I
Close your
unleashed?
eyes.
What
Think
have
you
I
should
So tell me
unleashed?
about your relationship with your mother. Yeah. Actually, saying that, it's my mum's birthday today, lad, so can we wish
happy birthday.
Gino a big happy 86th birthday, bless her.
Mrs.
Happy
Ted.
birthday.
Shall we sing it? Shall we sing it?
Happy
Like,
birthday.
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Pick the pace up, lads. Happy birthday, dear Ted's mum. Happy birthday to you.
Oh my
We're going
God,
to release a
fellas.
song.
Fellas, we've got no chance of
we
that
are.
Christmas number one.
We
No
are.
chance.
That was- Did you hear the harmony
Sheesh.
between Steve and I then? Oh my God.
That's
We were in
called a
tune.
dissonant.
What about you, Dave?
I was on a
happy
video call
birthday.
with her
Happy
yesterday.
birthday.
86 years old. On a
Oh,
video
woof.
call yesterday.
Brilliant.
She's now in a home. She told me yesterday she's now looking for a fella. So that's just
Hey, good on her.
incredible. Oh no, she just likes wedding cake, I'm sure. Anyway,
Well, if you're an 86-year-old male listening into the show this morning, get in the WhatsApp
Hey.
and
How
we
do you
can play. We can sort things out.
how do you know she's not after a bit of a toy boy?
Well,
this
she
is
could
true.
be.
Yeah,
This
could
is
be.
true,
Could be.
mate.
All right.
Sounds like she's full of
so
spark.
if we go, if you're a listener between the ages of 50 and 90, get in and you're single,
This is going to
And
turn
you-
into a
and you're-
documentary on Channel 5, isn't it?
and your overall income is over this much per
Yeah.
year, then
Yes,
get in on the
yes,
WhatsApp.
definitely.
Then you have Ted's full approval.
Yes, let's boost that trust fund. Well, should we start with some headlines anyway, Dave?
Yeah,
Is she in England?
well, go on, Ryan. Go on, get it
Is
out.
she in England, Teddy?
She is, yes, yeah. I abandoned my mother and left for a foreign
Nice.
land. Thanks for pointing that out, right?
No, yeah, thought so. I would have never done
I don't
that to
get
you,
guilted
Mrs.
for
Ted.
that every day.
Yeah, there you go.
Ted.
Would never have done that to you, Mrs. Ted.
Ted, not only is it your show, not only is it your mother's birthday, but also Daz has been looking after you, mate. Here we go.
Mackems and Proud. Black Cats News.
Oh, yes. Love it, Daz. Love it. Let's start with your headlines. Sunderland defender Dan Ballard is a major injury doubt for Northern Ireland's home game with Denmark tomorrow and could face a battle to regain fitness for Saturday's return to domestic action with Sunderland. However, Northern Ireland boss Michael O'Neill revealed at his press conference earlier yesterday that Ballard was a doubtful starter against Denmark because of a hamstring issue. Ballard played the full 90 minutes on Friday as Northern Ireland were thrashed 4-0 in Finland, had been expected to retain his place for tomorrow's finals Euro qualifier in Belfast. Reports say that Sunderland are keen on a deal for Luciano Rodriguez from Liverpool, not the car crime one, the one in Montevideo. It has been claimed that Sunderland chief Stuart Harvey has been scouting the striker, who is seen as a potential replacement for Ross Stewart, who departed for Southampton last summer in a big money move. The deal to take Stewart to St Mary's brought in around 10 million to the coffers at the Stadium of Light, with reports suggesting that Rodriguez could cost around 8 million. And finally, some Sunderland women's news. 2 late goals in the top of the table clash saw the Lasses draw 1-1 with Charlton Athletic at the Valley. Black Cats keeper Claudia Morn saved a penalty from the Addicts Kaylee Green early in the second half. Tegan McGowan came off the bench in 87 minutes for Charlton and broke the deadlock before the 90 minutes were up. But then Sunderland hit back late, rising teenage star Katie Watson taking advantage of a spillage from Addicts keeper Sean Rogers. Charlton stay ahead of Sunderland, but only on goals scored. And that's your headlines for this Monday morning.
Magpies and Proud. Mags News.
Good morning, Newcastle United fans, and thank God we're going into a week where there's football. Doing these headlines, I'm sure the lads will appreciate. It's an absolute nightmare when there's hardly anything going on. Newcastle United did confirm yesterday that Kieran Trippier pulled out of the England squad and he returned home due to a personal issue. He's therefore going to miss tonight's international against North Macedonia. There is better news on the injury front for the Magpies, with both Alexander Isak and Miggy Almiron available for selection this weekend against Chelsea. And Newcastle United under-18s have received a home draw in the third round of this season's FA Youth Cup against either Leyton Orient or Tring Athletic. They meet in the second round on Tuesday, November the 28th. A date and a venue for our ties awaited, with the third round to be completed on or before December the 16th. And that is your Newcastle United headlines this Monday morning.
Smoggies and Proud. Borough News.
Good morning, Borough fans. How are we? I hope you're all fantastic, safe and well. Had a great weekend without the Borough. We did have some internationals in action, though, starting with Hayden Hackney, who registered an assist for England's under-21s as they eased past Serbia on Saturday. The Borough man started in the midfield for Lee Carsley's side and had a hand in the opening goal, as his pressure saw James McCarthy take possession and fire home via deflection. And Hackney was involved again in England and McCarthy's second ahead of half-time, a simple square pass to the Sheffield United man who drilled home from distance. Elsewhere in Borough Internationals, Paddy McNair featured for Northern Ireland, who lost 4-0 to Finland on Friday, and Rav Vandenberg was an unused sub for Netherlands under-21s, who edged out Gibraltar. Also, Sami Silveira and Seni Dieng were unused substitutes as Australia and Senegal made strong starts to their World Cup qualification campaigns. The Socceroos hammered Bangladesh 7-0, while Senegal beat South Sudan 4-0. And speaking of Seni, Michael Carrick has detailed how Seni Dieng is proving it so important for Middlesbrough. With his seamless settling into the Middlesbrough side and some big saves in recent weeks, goalkeeper Seni Dieng has been earning plenty of plaudits of late. Dieng, the 28-year-old summer signing from QPR, kept his fourth clean sheet of the season last weekend at Leicester City. 2 big saves in the game ultimately provided the platform for Borough to go on and win the game against the league leaders via Sam Greenwood's free kick of the century. Praising his number one, the Borough head coach said he's done really well since arriving. He's been a really calming influence. He's quite laid back naturally as a character, sounds like me. But that doesn't take away from the other side, which is his control and calmness and how that rubs off the back four and the team as a whole. That's with the ball and without. And Middlesbrough back in action this weekend, where they'll travel to Bristol City in what will be Liam Manning's first home game since becoming their manager, coming from Oxford Town. That is your Borough headlines. Happy Monday.
Tad, Rye and Steve, the North East Footy Breakfast.
Right across the northeast, the red, the count and the tune.
Hey fellas, and we've got guests today as well. We've got guests, a musical interlude. We've got all that going on, as well as all the good nonsense. So, what a show! What a show! You'd think we'd planned these shows.
Hey, look, we're just going from step to step, aren't we, Dave? Do you know what I mean? We've gone from your bum cushion to guests. You know what I mean? Like, it's just incredible the way we're going. Always up, always up.
He's got cold now as well, remember, lads? He's got cold again.
Yeah,
oh, bless him.
Yeah, I don't want a cold cushion. Don't worry. Nothing.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I can survive.
I think you've had the
I
worst
just sound
run
like
of
Rod
sickness.
Stewart when I sing.
Oh,
we should record
you've had
now.
The worst run. We should get that deep in. Yes. Yes.
That husky tone.
Like when
That's it.
Yeah, Phoebe did it on Friends. Remember that when she was sick and she had
I
a
absolutely
dark, musky
did.
voice?
Are you a Friends fan as well, Ryan? I never had you down
I
as
am
that.
a big Friends fan, mate. I am a big
Well, there
Friends
we go.
fan.
So is Jurgen
Hey?
Klopp. Have you heard the story about Jurgen Klopp and Friends?
No.
That's how he learned English. He learned English
Really?
by watching Friends. Yeah, I saw an interview with him
Wow.
2 years ago. And he was asked about, when did he pick up English? And he said, I was watching Friends. That's what taught me English.
No way.
Yep.
There you go.
Well, there you go.
Well, we lost Chandler. Hey? Can't believe it.
It actually
Matthew
figures
Perry.
with Jurgen Klopp, though, because like the way he complains and his run of bad luck, it's never been his day, his week, or his year, has it? I'm sorry, that was awful. That was awful.
That was good, that.
Anyway,
From a dad
speaking
joke.
of awful, I love a dad joke, me. Speaking of awful, though, the England game against Malta. I mean,
Of the plate.
Just out. I want to put this into context, right?
Well done, Steve.
I live on a very, very small island, as you know, right? Like you can drive across, you can drive like top to bottom within probably about 2 hours, something like that.
2 hours, mate.
Now-
That's huge. I used to live in Malta. It's a dot.
There we go. It's 29 times smaller than Cyprus. 500,000 people
Yep.
in population. And England managed the most unconvincing 2-0 win. And to be honest, just played defensive naff football against a team of bus drivers, basically. And that's no disrespect to Malta. It's just it's what they are. They're pretty much a team of amateurs. Honestly, realistically, can England actually ever win a major honour?
Well, Southgate thinks so. He's talking about it in the press this morning, isn't he? He's going for glory. He wants to be world champions.
Fair play to him having ambition, but I've got to be honest. I didn't. Before we started talking about it last week, I knew we were going into an international break. I hadn't got a clue who they were playing. I didn't watch it. I had no interest in watching it. And then when I saw the relative reports over the weekend and our WhatsApp group comments, I mean, it was like watching paint dry by all accounts. And yeah, they won. Yeah, they got the job done. They got into that position where essentially they needed to finish top of the group to be top seeded. So all of that makes sense. All of that's very important. I think why people are losing their patience with Gareth Southgate is because of his squad selections. And again, he'll point to the fact that we're getting results, we're getting the job done. But he's just, he's dropping fairly obvious players that are supposed to be, that should be a shoe-in because they're on form. And I just think we come to this point with all England managers, don't we? Look at Sir Bobby Robson. He was getting hammered and he was getting slated, and he was the joke figure of the press. The press wanted him out. They were hounding him out, and he goes to 1990s World Cup and nearly wins the thing. So we just seem to go in this kind of circle with England managers. For 1 minute they're flavour of the month, and the next minute they're back page for all the right reasons. And then when the press have had enough of them, they're front page and centre, and they want them out, and they're having a vegetable put on the top of their head.
Great turnip. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but I mean, I just think it's. I don't know. Like we've discussed it before, and you're either an international fan or you're not.
But I was, and I'm.
Yeah.
When, Dave? When?
Well, you're talking about Sir Bobby's era. You
Okay.
talk, and Terry Venables and all that sort of stuff. But now, the modern day, everything is there in the recipe for me to want to watch England. We've been to finals, we've been to semi-finals, we've taken that extra step from where Sir Bobby left off, and people like that. Gareth Southgate's a former Borough player, former Borough manager. Actually, there's everything there for me to watch. And do you know what time I turned onto the game on Friday? It was Mrs. R's birthday. I was out with her having a bite to eat, and it was on in the pub. I just turned my gaze to the TV. So we were 1-0 up after 51 minutes or something, and I thought, oh my God, never looked again. That was it.
Yeah.
I wasn't interested in it at all.
I saw the highlights. That's all that you could get out of me, and it was one of the most. I mean, I watched the cricket over the weekend. Good on you, Australia.
Yeah,
How
congratulations,
about that?
Australia. That hurts.
Thank you so much.
To
Thank
say,
you.
but congratulations.
Thank you. The back pages of the Sun this morning is the Struth hurts. Oh, I love it. And Australia winning the World Cup. And honestly, watching the cricket was more exciting than watching that England game. And I think football's the most exciting sport in the world. And to say that the one day cricket and India really slowed that game down on the weekend, and it was still far more exciting than the football that we saw from Gareth Southgate on Friday. And obviously an Aussie through and through, but as a general enjoyer of good football, it's you know what, and I've said it before. I said it a couple of weeks ago. I think I can see the similarities, Dave, of the end of Southgate's era at Middlesbrough to what it is now at England in terms of the way he's picking the team, the way they're starting to play, the slow-paced nature of how they bring it out from the back and stuff like that. It's literally like Middlesbrough 2.0. And we're talking, when did he leave? Was it 2011, 2012, somewhere around there? Like, a good 10, 11 years ago. And it's exactly the same thing we saw when he got sacked as a Middlesbrough manager. So, yeah, it's crazy that, how times can change and how times can, not change.
It's weird because, since I don't think I've felt excited about England as watching the national team since 1996, because since then every single tournament that we've been to, yes, we win games, we qualify easily, and Harry Redknapp made this point brilliantly over the weekend as well. We get through the group stages, we get through qualifiers. Sometimes the qualifiers are 10 out of 10 in terms of wins, but as soon as we play anyone of any repute in knockout stages, we fail.
Yeah, correct.
We absolutely fail. It's basically England's relationship with football is a lot like the dad who went out for cigarettes. We keep saying he's coming home, but it never does. It's not going to happen for England unless there's massive changes, and that starts with Southgate, because he's got to go. That was the most insipid football I've ever watched England play. A 2-0 win against Malta is an embarrassment. That's as good as a defeat for me. That
I think
absolutely terrible.
The Euros final against Italy absolutely typifies what we're talking about. England take an early lead and then don't know how to play football.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In the final, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, no, completely agree.
It is one of those things. It's that phrase, isn't it? Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Yeah. And I've always had a feeling that supporting England is a bit like supporting Newcastle, and you probably have the same kind of feeling with your clubs, lads. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Very little trophy success between all three clubs in the Northeast. And why support a team that does the same at international level? Because that's what England do. They build you up to disappoint you, and that's been my football upbringing in the period of time that I've been interested in football. And you just have that kind of heartbreak. It's almost like systematically drummed into you that the team that you support will take you on such a roller coaster ride, but inevitably you'll end up having to get off at the end of the ride with a few exciting experiences but nothing to show for it. And that's exactly what it's like being a football fan at Newcastle. And for me, supporting England's exactly the same. And the two most exhilarating tournaments for me were, Italia 1990. Now, I don't know whether that was because it was such a great era for music, it was such a great era, it was the rebirth of football. We were coming out of what we all thought was like, social deprivation in this country. Society was changing. Football, football hooliganism was supposed to be parked. We're going to get this new stadiums. We're a couple of years away from the birth of the Premier League. And it was like this whole football's alive and kicking, and we've got the rebirth of football, and that was what World Cup 1990 signified, really. If they dug deeper into the World Cup, it's all the debt that it leaves the country that FIFA takes the World Cup to. It's hardly a money maker for the country that has to host it. But that's getting
unless you pay for it.
Exactly. Well, you do. Yeah. Look at the countries. Look at the countries it goes to. It tends to run up millions of pounds worth of debt for the countries, but it's the prestige of having it. But then after 1990, we have the Premier League launching. It's now still the best league in the world. Everybody wants to play in. And you had to move further forward to 1996 and El Tel coming in, with his latest crop of England players to get anywhere near it. And the one significant player involved in that 6-year period who I always say carried the hopes of the nation on his shoulders, and the reason that people were interested in England was Paul Gascoigne. Gaza was 100%. Gaza was the best player in the world in 1990. Forget Maradona, he was the best player in 1990, despite the fact we didn't win it. And 6 years later, we had a Paul Gascoigne who was only half the player he was in 1990, but who was still carrying the hopes of the nation on his shoulders. And had he just managed to have that extra bit of speed to reach that ball against Germany. It might have been a different story in '96, but ultimately we fell short again. And I've never enjoyed. And we've been to a final, and we've been to a semi-finals. Since that period, I've never enjoyed an England match since, and I think I lost a lot of faith after I lost a lot of faith after Hoddle dropped Gaza. I think, and I don't think we've had a player since then who could, get everybody out the seats. Now we've got Bellingham now, potentially could be the next player to carry the hopes of the nation on his shoulders, and that could be Gareth Southgate's ace in the pack. If he can get the best out of him and use him properly, England could win next year's tournament, and Bellingham could be the person who, Bellingham could be the person who ignites things again for England. And
does that get you watching though, Steve? Does one player get you watching, or does it take a good team performance?
I think it does. Yeah, I think it does. I mean, Gaza, because he was a Geordie, is somebody who, I obviously had, special interest in. Gutted as well, because obviously he'd left Newcastle by the time he rose to that kind of prominence. He's at Tottenham by then. But yeah, I think it does, mate. It's the hype, and it's the media hype, etc. around it. We all buy into it, and I think I would just have one request. Let's park that blasted song. It's coming home. It's old, it's dated, and we've had that many rehashes of it. But
and the girls have done it.
It's embarrassing, isn't it? It's embarrassing.
Lionesses have done it, so
exactly.
Forget it. Drop it.
Yeah, drop it, because that's in the past.
Let's
concentrate on the future. Yeah, drop the band.
I absolutely cannot stand. That's one thing I'll turn the game off of that. Honestly, God, the band that play, the Great Escape and all that nonsense. Honestly, as a brass player myself, I would absolutely wrap that trumpet around him. It annoys the life out of me. I know I sound like I'm having a whinge today, like I am, but there's no sounding like I am. I definitely am. There's just all sorts of things. Steve touched on something there as well. I said the same, Steve. Since 1996, I've just not felt the same. Hoddle was just bang out of order and dropping Gascoigne as well. The thing about 96 was, though, we beat good teams on the way to that semi-final. We beat Spain, we beat Holland. I mean, I don't think we've ever had as convincing a display against one of the world's greatest teams, when we absolutely demolished them 4-1. So, that was back then, and it lends itself to this whole thing about Harry Kane being this, England's top scorer. He's played against nobody. I mean, half of them are probably penalties. That's all he seems to knock in for England. But he's played against nobody. He's banging goals in against Malta, against Andorra, people like that. Come on, it barely qualifies. And the other thing for me as well, which obviously I know we're going to wrap up for the sports headlines in a second. It's just games like that are putting our club's players at risk. All three of us are sat here with mounting injury problems in each club. And then you see this coming along, and you just know one of our players is going to come away from that with an injury. And look what's happened. Dan Ballard's pulled out with a hamstring injury from the Northern Ireland squad. It's who's getting a fine?
That was me. You can't find an ill man. No, you can't.
That's a technical party, lads.
Actually. It was work for this show as well. How on earth did that ring? I've got my ringer off. How did that go ding? My ringer is off.
Sort it out, mate. Sort it out. Ted was on
I'm sorry, it's playing Ted. Spooky music. That's what it is. It's playing spooky music.
Ted, that was a neat segue. Won't come on the show, right? He won't work for this farcical ship that we're running, right?
The farcical what?
Yeah. Did you say ship?
Yes, ship. He did. Yes.
Like what's the fact?
Oh my!
Speaking of which, do you want us to give the second clue before we go in?
You have to give us. No, you have to give us a reminder. Give us a reminder of the first, and then give us the second. Then it's headlines.
And then you're going to give us the WhatsApp number, yeah?
Yeah.
All right then. First clue. Lothar Matthäus and Jürgen Klinsmann are examples of this fact. Next clue. San Siro, Olympic Stadium, Allianz Arena are the real homes of this fact. So that's San Siro, Olympic Stadium, formerly, Allianz Arena, are the real homes of this fact?
Germans.
It's not Germans. It's not Mario Balotelli.
That was my next guess.
Are you sure it's not Volkswagen Beetle drivers? No. Stadiums can't drive cars. Yeah. Well,
there we go. Any sort of bites at the cherry, lads, or are you lost on this one so far?
I'm in a trance with this music.
Yeah, I'm lost. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah,
I've got.
I'm trying to make the connection. I'm trying to work the connection.
I've got half an idea, but I need to dig through the old grey matter a bit more. But if you've got an idea, a suggestion, you think you've got it, give us a WhatsApp message 0330 043 2002. That's 0330 043 2002. That is the WhatsApp number. The Northeast Footy Brekkie with some spooky piano music. Is it Halloween, guys? Have we missed a trick here?
No, I hope not.
Or treat.
Yes. Oh, nice. Good
We
one.
need a Christmas banger.
Ted's on
We need
fire.
a Christmas banger.
Oh, I've had
Christmas
3
banger.
coffees.
Ted's on fire. Yeah, we've got a Christmas banger coming up. Absolutely, we have. It's the Northeast Footy Breakfast across God's country on the Count, the Red and the Toon. We'll be right back after this. I tell you what. There are Christmas songs and there are Christmas songs, fellas.
It's a belter, isn't it? If you're not swaying side to side to that, then there's something wrong with you.
I used to hate that when I was doing the Doors in Newcastle, though, because it used to get played all the time, and that was the one that got everybody up and about and, just being an absolute pest. But it's grown back on us, over the years. It is a good song, and we wish Shane McGowan all the best in, his battle with his ill health. He hasn't been well, poor lad.
Yeah, still in the hospital.
No. Where did you used to work on the Doors, Steve? I'm intrigued.
18 years I did, mate. London, I did Ibiza, and I did Newcastle. But anything from Legends to C Nightclub to Jimmy's on the Quayside, Chase, you name it. I worked it all out.
Wow.
I've never done a book about it, but I did 34 venues in Newcastle over an 18-year period.
God almighty. That's pretty much the town when I used to go out then.
I was pretty much.
I used to do Julie's on a Monday night.
Oh, Julie's, yeah,
wow.
That was a classic.
Julie's 70s night on a Monday.
Stretch Limo and his and all of his stuff. But yeah, good times.
Oh, I remember seeing John Barnes in there when John Barnes playing for Newcastle. He walked in there with these sort of weird culottes on, tucked into some cowboy boots in Julie's nightclub. Honestly, I kid you not. It was the most hilarious thing I've ever seen.
Was he doing the Anfield rap?
Oh, probably.
Or was he doing his bit out of World in Motion?
Be careful, because Rye's wearing culottes and cowboy boots at the moment.
Certainly
That's all the fashion in Australia, isn't it? We talked about this on the WhatsApp group that we don't talk
Daily
about.
attire. Yep.
He doesn't say a lot about it, but...
I was
Yes!
Steve sneaking in with a dad joke there, loving that.
And there's me thinking it was Ted that was on fire this morning. My goodness.
Honestly, I've had 3 coffees. I can taste colours. Right, let's have a little reminder then. I'm just doing a reminder. I'm not giving you a third clue, am I?
No, just a reminder.
No, okay. So, your 2 clues. You are trying to guess the fact. I'm going to give you 4 statements in total. Here are the 2 that you've had so far. Lothar Matthäus and Jürgen Klinsmann are examples of this fact.
Germans.
No. San Siro, Olympic Stadium, Allianz Arena are the real homes of this fact.
Which Olympic Stadium?
I'm not telling you. Come on.
Okay.
Where's our pal who normally guesses on the WhatsApp? Has he not been in touch yet?
Oh, Daniel, no. Daniel hasn't had a guess yet. If you think you know what it is, the answer to those, well, they're not questions, they're clues. I've been putting our place over that one already. 0330 043 2002. That's 0330 043 2002. See how I tried to match the spooky music there.
I was very good. You're a professional at this, though, Dave. You've been around some time.
Hopeless bungling amateur, mate.
He's been around some time.
The way
I meant that in a nice way.
Oh, I missed that. That went completely over my head. You see, I've got cold. I'm not well.
I was being kind, and Rye's trying to sort of insinuate I'm making jokes about your age, Dave. It's not
Really.
on.
He was playing playing the age
Hey.
card, was he?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I was protecting you. I was protecting you. I wasn't letting him get away with a cheeky jab when my main man's sick.
Good man.
All
Good
right?
man.
Yeah,
Good man.
got
Like
you back.
it.
Got you back.
Yeah, good
All
man.
right?
Like it.
Come on,
Like
Gotta
it.
be careful with these gags, Rye. You are the youngest here, you know. I mean, you've got 3 dads here. I'm guessing you're the youngest, just on appearance. There you go.
30.
Anyway.
Yeah, 35. I think Steve's got me.
Yeah, 51.
I thought you were 31.
I'm
There you go.
45 next month.
I'm not going there.
Dave's national
35,
insurance
yeah,
number's 3.
The last time Dave had a birthday cake, we had to call the fire service to put the candles out.
Yay! Go on, get him out. Get him out.
There it is.
Well, I'm not well enough to fight back. Get him out. Go on, lay into me.
Oh, dear me.
I'm going to go home and
Quick one,
cry.
have we got our guests in yet, Dave?
Oh, not yet.
Quarter two.
No,
Not yet. All right.
You keep talking, and then I'll get them lined up.
Well, I'll tell you what, then we'll get back in with just a little bit. One thing I noticed from the international football over the weekend, it wasn't all doom and gloom. Romelu Lukaku scored 4 for Belgium in the first half at the weekend, and his stats this season are actually pretty impressive. So in international goals, he's got 14 goals in 8 games in the European qualifiers. He's got 9 goals in 14 games for Roma. And I'll come to Steve on this one first, because I imagine Steve's probably seen a little bit more of him. Steve, do you think Lukaku's underrated, or is he just not Premier League class? Because other than his time at Everton, it's never really happened for him, has it? But looking at those stats, the guy's a serious player, isn't he?
I've got to be honest, when I watched him play at Belgium, that's when I really thought this guy's got what it takes to be something special. But ultimately, I think he's one of those who just never realised his potential. And I think he's probably one of those modern day footballers. Obviously, you only see what you see of a player when you don't support the club. From if your team plays against them, or whatever, and obviously a bit of the international stuff. He's played in some high profile games against England, but I just think he's one of those modern day footballers who has just done what he's had to do. He hasn't gone over and beyond. You couldn't imagine him, being like David Beckham and hanging around after training, wanting to get a bit extra practice in. You can imagine him coming in, doing his training and heading straight home and getting on with his busy life. I think that's the problem. I think, and I just think it sometimes comes down to the fact that it's the desire's not within the person, and I think I could be completely wrong. He could be the best trainer in the world, and he could put the effort in, but that's my view. That's my opinion of what I've seen of him. And again, it comes down to when you're actually at a club as well, how that club's actually doing. I remember when he first went to Everton, and that must have been 2012, maybe 2013, around about that. I think we were in the Premier League at that point, and I remember him going on loan, and I think he was scoring a goal every other game, and then he got the permanent move, and I still think his stats were pretty good at Everton. It might not have seemed like that. There might have been a couple of hat tricks in there, but I've got this feeling that he still did okay at Everton. It was the move to Manchester United, and again that was during we know Man United haven't been the same team as they were in the 90s. I think he scored something like 25, 26 goals in his time at Manchester United, and he wasn't banging them in like he was at Everton. But that was probably down to the fact that Man United were going through such a lean spell. But I just don't look. He's had a career. He's in in England. He's been at Chelsea. He was at West Brom on loan. He's been to Everton, Manchester United, and obviously Chelsea. But I think the latter part of his career has probably overshadowed some of the good stuff he did in the early part of his career, But still a banger, still somebody who could score goals. Would I take him to Newcastle? Would I fancy him coming to Newcastle and doing a couple of years spell for us? Of course I would. We're desperately in need of a goal scorer.
Borough will take him. He can come to Borough, we don't mind.
I'm sure Sunderland will as well, but he's coming to the back end of his career now, isn't he? He's 30.
Yeah, he's 30 now, yeah.
30 years of age.
It's,
But yeah, I wouldn't have minded him at
stats
Newcastle.
there, Steve.
Yeah.
Just looking at the Man United stats, actually, it wasn't too bad, you know. So he joined it in the 17-18 season. He got in the Premier League. He got 16 goals in 34 games, so just under 1 in every 2. Second season was 12 goals in 32 matches, so he was on the decline. But I think the real decline happened, and Chelsea seemed to have a knack of doing this to strikers. When he moved to Chelsea, or when he went back to Chelsea, they ruin every striker they ever go near. Mm-hmm. You look at Higuain, you look at Shevchenko, you look at Torres, you look at Lukaku. They just seem to go off the boil completely.
Torres was funny, wasn't he? Scoring goals for fun, then went to Chelsea and then nothing.
Yeah.
It was just bizarre.
Like Alfonso Alves.
Yeah. I don't think we can quite compare the two, right?
Well, hang on. On that very note, an independent voice coming in from left field here. Johnny Bullock joins us from Borough Breakdown podcast, and congratulations on the award, Johnny. Fantastic stuff. But would you have Lukaku? Johnny? Would you have Lukaku at the Riverside?
Oh, yeah, absolutely you would, wouldn't you? He's fantastic. I mean, he's probably a lot better than Alfonso Alves, right, I'll be honest.
Only just.
Just.
Not wrong.
Like, just.
I think the terms barn door and shovel spring to mind when you mention that name.
Oh, his barn door is spotless, like, isn't it?
Johnny.
It's good to have you on, Johnny.
Yeah, it is, and well done, mate. Great to see you flying the flag for the North East. So come on, talk us through the award then. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so we won the Bronze Award for the Best Football League podcast in the EFL. So yeah, it's a huge achievement. So at the Football Content Awards, so it's probably one of the biggest content awards in the country, in the United Kingdom, and it's to celebrate all different types of creators who like do their own thing across YouTube, podcasting, vlogging, and obviously it's became such a big thing, and that was in the industry among supporters. And we got nominated last year as well for Best Football League podcast, and this year we won another step further and got the Bronze Award now. So hopefully going to go for gold, but it does mean now that we are like the third best podcast in the country. Well, then secondly probably the best one in the podcast in the championship now. So, you know, beating Sunderland again in a competition, so it's always nice.
Yes, take
nice
that, Teddy.
Oh, don't worry. I've got an answer for it. How many Borough fans does it take to screw in a light bulb? None. They're quite happy living in the shadows. Okay. Put that on that podcast that we've not heard of, okay? Because the Borough Breakdown. I did too, then I ended up on radio, for God's sake.
They got the accolade, all right? I'm very proud of you, Johnny. It was a great achievement, mate. Obviously, I was following it closely on Twitter and trying to help with the voting and all that sort of stuff. And it was good to see the Borough fans get behind you and stuff like that. I love tuning in. One of my favourite episodes, though, has to be the Chuba Akpom, mate. At the end of last season, sitting down and getting to chat with Chuba. Was it everything it cracked up to be? It's one of the more memorable podcasts of my time, obviously, listening to the show.
Oh yeah, absolutely! Like it was unreal. Like it just came out of the blue. We just messaged him like privately and was like, oh, you know, just like kind of like just like, you know, one of those comments where you just go, I probably won't answer it or anything, but you know, you just got to try it anyway. About 5 minutes later, my phone goes off and I'm just thinking, oh my god, Chuba Akpom just replied to me. He was like, yeah, let's do it. Got on, and honestly, he's the nicest guy. Honestly, I thought when we were speaking and got to know him a little bit more, and funny enough, like Uche rang him whilst we were on talking to him, and he just kept trying to FaceTime him, which was actually hilarious. So we got to Chuba as well, to Uche as well at the same time. Yeah. But yeah, it was amazing. I honestly thought that like his heart was still set at Middlesbrough, but it was always going to be not his decision to go, and it kind of materialised that way, didn't it? But yeah, it was really good, that one. Honestly, it was like so fun to like speak to probably arguably the hottest property in Borough, really.
It was, for sure at that time.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing, right? Honestly, it was so good.
Yeah,
do you think, Johnny, that's something that, like, they've been in the Championship, obviously Sunderland and Borough both there. Do you think the players are that little bit more down to earth and a little bit more approachable and in touch with the fans, connected with the fans?
Yeah, definitely. I think the players are getting like closer and closer, and I think like when you see like content series now, like Welcome to Wrexham, etc., like you're seeing that like players probably should get closer to fans more often because how good it can be for building their own profile. So I feel like you're slowly starting to see that more and more now. Whereas I think like maybe about 5 years ago, it was a bit more standoffish. So yeah, it's becoming more and more welcoming, I think, across the industry and for you guys as well, and getting more players on the show and stuff. It's becoming a little bit easier, but obviously you've got to go through like different means of like the club, etc., and try and get things signed off. But yeah, players themselves are much more heartwarming to big podcasting, etc. now.
And obviously, like
we're seeing a lot of players do their own podcast as well, aren't we? We're seeing lots of players.
Yeah.
You know, Callum Wilson from Newcastle, obviously doing his. But yeah, it seems to be a regular thing now. You know, not just ex-players. How do you feel about that? About current players doing it? I've got to be honest. I often cringe when some of these podcasts come out, and it's somebody who's maybe going to play against somebody in the near future, and you think, well, that could come back to bite you on the backside. Great for podcasters like us who, you know, maybe get the opportunity to get one of these players on, but yeah, what do you think about current players doing it? Should that be allowed?
Yeah, why not? You're only just voicing your opinion, aren't you? Like, I think it's just that you're just saying what you'd probably say in the pub, to be honest, or what's being said at the training ground. So I understand it, though. I think if you're going with a massive confidence, it can always backfire, can't it? And you know, you've definitely seen it, but I'm all for it, mate. I quite like it. But obviously, sometimes you'll see like the same stories will regurgitate and repeat itself. Like if you ever speak to like Neil Warnock, God, he tells you the same story about every 3 times, doesn't he? So you know, it's a yeah.
It's a bit like working with Dave.
Well, thanks, mate. Thanks. I was just going to say, I'd love a current player, to do a podcast and come out with the manager's a dinosaur, the club's crap, the fans are useless. Wouldn't that be magnificent? Somebody speaking their mind like that, Jadon Sancho.
Johnny, obviously, you obviously with Tuba, that was, you know, a huge coup for you to get him on the show. Who's the dream though? Who's the dream person you want to have on the show?
Got to be Rye.
I think yeah.
Get Rye's dream side.
They don't want the loud, annoying one. That much.
Right, you're always welcome, mate. Don't worry about that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I think that obviously the aim has to be Steve Gibson, doesn't it? Right? I think you've got to go for that has to be the dream one. I think when you go right.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
I think if I ever got Steve on, I think I'd just retire. I think there's nothing past that to this. So.
Yeah, I think the
I reckon Carrick, mate. I reckon well,
12th man did get Warnock,
mate.
12th man did get Warnock on.
They did. They did, yeah.
So
I reckon
Carrick, maybe?
You can get Carrick, and then pull him apart like the calm orange that he is, and you just peel him apart, Johnny, I reckon, and just break him down and see what he's actually like. Because that's what he's so calm and collected, and I want to see like an animated Carrick, like an orange. Yeah, skin him like an orange and reveal the core of Carrick.
Johnny, what you doing at breakfast tomorrow?
I was gonna say there's some funny looking layered oranges in bloody Australia, like, isn't there?
There is.
Bearded oranges.
We grow different ones down here for sure. Yeah, I reckon Carrick. I reckon Michael Carrick. But I honestly love the show. John, I wanted to ask you though with timing, because one thing for me is obviously working full-time job, dad to 2 girls as well, obviously on a different time zone as well, but finding time to do the podcast and all the work that you put into the show. Do you find as you're getting, obviously later into life that it's becoming harder, or you found it sort of that you got into a rhythm now where it's actually easier than when you first started?
Later into life? Are you going on age again?
No. I'm getting there, right? You know, I'm getting there. I'm 29 next year, so it's
exactly.
It's a big
come on, I've got socks older than you.
To be honest, yeah, I get it. Like, it is busy. Like, I'm not doing maybe 1 or 2 shows a week, and then got a full-time job. Like my full-time job's based in Nottingham, but I'm based in like Teesside, so it's like sometimes I'm on the road quite a lot. So it's still fitting in, I think, but obviously the priority is just there now. Like every Sunday is like my podcast day, and like that's just it. It's just set in stone. So I've always got time put to the side. Obviously with Dana and Tom as well, that we do the podcast with. There's always one, two, or three of us to cover the whole game and go into like the next thing. And yeah, so but it is getting harder though. It is getting 100% harder, but it is what it is. It's just life, isn't it? Right?
Yeah,
No,
brilliant
not wrong.
stuff.
Not
Brilliant stuff. Johnny,
I love it.
thanks for joining us this morning, mate. Congratulations again on the award, and let's see if you can get next level, silver and gold next year. All right.
Oath.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much, guys.
Brilliant
Appreciate
stuff.
it.
Good luck,
Johnny,
mate.
Take care, Johnny, mate.
Johnny Bullock, big Borough fan from the Borough Breakdown podcast, the award-winning Borough Breakdown podcast. See, that's how he's going to get Carrick right. He's going to go to the club now and say the award-winning podcast.
I know.
Absolutely.
Right, I reckon.
Yeah.
I reckon.
He'll
No,
push himself.
and it's good.
Nice
It's
lad.
good that you asked about the players and that, because I think these types of obviously the Borough Breakdown, but podcasting essentially, obviously
Cheers, mate.
it
That was
wasn't.
great.
It's kind of like a
Hey,
new thing that's happened. This day and age that. We never really got to see the behind the scenes of players. Back in the day, imagine seeing like a Roy Keane or someone like that on a podcast, or even the older dimes, but seeing these sort of relaxed interviews with players with from fans or from people that are doing podcasts or people that love the club, you just can build that connection to them as a player more. I mean, I found that with Riley McGree, obviously being able to chat with Riley McGree, and we chat all the time now on Instagram sort of thing, but getting to know them just connects me more to the club, I guess, in a way. And I really do like that some of the players that, they put their ego behind them or to the side, if you will, and just go on and jump on a podcast these days. And I know you were saying, Steve, that, I'm not sure about current players doing one by themselves. I still think it's better if they're a guest of something, especially a current player, because current players, it just sort of, I don't know, rubs me a bit the wrong way. We've got a few people in Australia here that do it, and it's a bit egotistical, the ones that they run, but I really do like it, and I think more and more players should jump into the to Borough Breakdown podcasts and stuff like that, and be and just open them up, because it really does give the fans a more of a humanized version of this player that they see week in, week out, sort of thing. And I just think if they're building a brand or whatever they're doing, it's definitely the way to go for sure. And I really enjoy the Borough Breakdown podcast, and congratulations to them. And yeah, if you're just tuning in and you haven't heard of the Borough Breakdown podcast, make sure you check it out. And one I can always recommend is the Tuba Akpom episode from the end of last season. It was absolutely amazing, and you got to know Tuba on a whole new level from that podcast. So yeah, congrats to everyone involved.
Cool. Well, guess what? We're late for the news, fellas.
Hooray!
I know. We shock. We never fail to amaze. It's 1 minute past 8 across the northeast. We will be back with another Christmas banger in a bit. Another guest, and we're going to talk footy, possibly, on the Northeast Footy Breakfast.
Maybe.
Love it.
Love it.
The Proclaimer.
What's happened to Sunderland?
What do you mean?
What I've just heard there, that song, Sunderland No More.
Oh, Sunderland no more.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I kept hearing. Sunderland no more.
Ted, what's happening with
Then he went
Sunderland?
off to Miami or something.
Hang on. Is Ted there?
Oh,
Ted No More.
that's why it's Sunderland no more, because Ted's gone.
Ah,
right.
see, very
well
clever.
played. There we go. That was good. See how we've done that. Tell you what, Steve, I had the ambience of that song with my little 3-week-old absolutely screaming the house down in the background. I tell you, she is waking the neighbours without me during the week. I tell you,
Following Dad.
Future
has got a voice
podcaster.
on her.
Yeah.
She has got it. If you guys are, you like me waking the neighbours, you wait till she starts up. I tell you, because she has got some lungs on her. This girl, she is the tiniest thing you've ever seen, but my goodness, she would wake a whole neighbourhood with that scream. My God, that is piercing.
Has Ted definitely gone? Hello, Ted. Mark,
No more Ted.
calling Orson.
No,
Northeast Footy
no
Break
more
Show.
So
Ted.
you know when we go for breaks.
There he is.
He was just Googling to see whether something happened to Sunderland.
I think it's the age. It's the age. Just takes him far longer.
You know,
these
when
days.
we go for a little break like that, I'm very conscientious. I always mute my mic.
Yeah.
I did the
And
same
what's
thing
happened
the
is-
other week. I did the same thing the other week. Yeah.
Just admit it, Ted. It takes longer at your age these days.
Oh, now we're playing the age card, are we?
But don't fight back, mate. You'll just slaughter me.
That's what I was going to say. You've still got a ticket from the Ark, haven't you?
I
gonna
love
say,
this
Where we're
show.
going next,
No.
boys? Actually, we need to
We're
do some
talking
headlines,
about
don't we?
falling out of love, aren't we? With
Yeah.
international football and England, and the way, just because England haven't won anything. But I was going to say, Dave, being part of that, the last World Cup that England won, you must be
What?
what 1966, wasn't it?
Part of
Around
it.
then?
Can you explain yourself? Yeah, I was a goalkeeper. My name was Gordon Banks in reality. Yeah. Mind you, he was my hero. Gordon Banks was my absolute idol. Yeah, I was a goalkeeper.
Really?
I was a goalkeeper, yeah.
I interviewed him once, and what a lovely guy. I did an interview with him. He was top notch. I'm proud to say that I've met quite a few of those 66 winners, but he was great. Well, he had so many great stories. Banksy, top man.
Yeah, I've got a signed photograph of that save against Pele in the 1970 World Cup on my wall.
Wow.
In the office. It's he was. Do you know the Borough played Stoke City a long time ago now, far too many years I care to remember, but there was a storm came through. I don't know whether you remember, fellas, but the one of the stand roofs came off at Stoke's ground, so they played at Port Vale. I turned up that night at Port Vale for Stoke City versus the Borough, and I took my seat and I'm sat next to the great man. It was just an absolute magical moment. Just by complete fluke, I sat next to Gordon Banks.
You know, we got to get on the headlines, but one thing that blows my mind from that era is imagine of the lads back in those days, probably, obviously a bit earlier on, but going to play football for your country and then going to war, serving in the military and stuff like that, because that there was part and parcel that you could play for England and then have to line up in the back in World War II and all that sort of stuff. Like, can you imagine these days? It's just unfathomable that you see. We see, I think it was Son, who was from Tottenham, who was talking about because he's obviously Korean, he has to do military. I think it's there are some countries that still enforce national service, and they took him away from playing for Tottenham for a bit there. But back in the day, it was just sort of a part and parcel thing, wasn't it? That you would play your football, and then you might be playing for Tottenham or whoever it was back then. Then you go and sign up for the military and stuff. It was just wild. Yeah. Wild times.
Absolutely. Before we go any further...
You wouldn't follow Neymar into battle, would you?
You pull a hamstring running in, mate.
Before we go any further and before we go into headlines, we need a repeat of Ted's trivia. What's it called again?
It's What's the Fact?
What's the Fact? F-A-C-T.
What the Fact?
Oh, what the fact. Okay.
Yes.
I'm trying to deflect from the real meaning. Anyway, give us them again. Give us them again. Clues 1 and 2.
I know you are. I'm getting told off later. Okay. Clue number 1. Lothar Matthäus and Jurgen Klinsmann are examples of this fact. Your second clue. San Siro, Olympic Stadium, Allianz Arena are the real homes of this fact. And do you want clue number 3?
Just before you do, I'm going to say winning the European Championship.
No.
Okay.
Clue number 3. This phenomenon has happened every 4 years since 1982. So that's 82. This phenomenon has happened for every 4 years since 1982.
Is it Dave getting around in?
It's close. It's about as rare.
Just wait till the Christmas do. Telling you.
That threw me. I thought I was onto it, and then that third clue. Now I'm gone. We need Daniil.
Daniil,
we do.
Get your head on, Daniil. Get your head on.
Where is he?
I don't know. When
where is our listener?
He usually helps us.
Yeah, when you need that listener, where is he? 033 or 043 2002 if you've got any idea whatsoever of what the fact. I said it very...
I picture Daniil now. Daniil sat there like anonymous the hacking group with about 10 laptops in front of him trying to find the clues.
Here we go with the news.
Magpies and proud. Mags News.
Well, good morning, Newcastle United fans. Newcastle confirmed yesterday that Kieran Trippier has pulled out of the England squad and returned home to deal with a personal issue. He's therefore going to miss tonight's international against North Macedonia. A bit like me. There is better news on the injury front for the Magpies, with both Alexander Isak and Miggy Almiron both available for selection this weekend in the Premier League clash against Chelsea, which is a good old 3 o'clock kick-off on a Saturday. Wow. And Newcastle United's under-18 side have received a home draw in the third round of this season's FA Youth Cup against either Leyton Orient or Tring Athletic. I do like the name of that team. They meet in the second round on Tuesday, November the 28th. A date and the venue for our tie is awaited, with the third round to be completed on or before December the 16th. And that is in Newcastle United headlines on this Monday morning.
Smoggies and Proud. Borough News.
Good morning, Borough fans. Hope you're all fantastic, safe and well, and had a great weekend. No Borough football to talk about this weekend, obviously, but we did have some Borough players in the international scene, starting with Hayden Hackney, who registered an assist for England under-21s as they eased past Serbia on Saturday. The Borough man started in midfield for Lee Carsley's side and had a hand in the opening goal as his pressure saw James McCate take possession and fire home via deflection. And Hackney was involved in England and McCate's second ahead of half-time, a simple square pass to the Sheffield United man who drilled home from distance. Elsewhere, for Borough's internationals, Paddy McNair featured for Northern Ireland, who ended up losing 4-0 to Finland on Friday. Brad Vandenberg was an unused substitute for Netherlands under-21s, who edged out Gibraltar 1-0. And Sammy Silvera and Seni Dieng were unused substitutes as Australia and Senegal made strong starts to their World Cup qualification campaigns. The Socceroos hammered Bangladesh 7-0, while Senegal beat South Sudan 4-0. And speaking of Seni, Michael Carrick has detailed how Seni Dieng is proving so important for Middlesbrough. With his seamless settling into the Middlesbrough side and some big saves in recent weeks, goalkeeper Seni Dieng has been earning plenty of plaudit. Seni, who is 28 years old and a summer signing from QPR, kept his fourth clean sheet of the season last weekend against Leicester, and the two big saves he made in that game would ultimately provide the platform for Borough to go on and win the game against the league leaders via Sam Greenwood's free kick of the century, as I'm calling it. Praising his number one, the Borough head coach said he's done really well since arriving. He's a really calming influence. He's quite laid back naturally as a character, but that doesn't take away from the other side, which is his control and calmness, and how that rubs off the back four and the team as a whole. That's with the ball and without. And Middlesbrough back in action, obviously, this weekend, where they'll take on and travel down to Bristol City in what will be Liam Manning's first home game since becoming Bristol City manager, coming in from Oxford. Middlesbrough fans, that is your Monday headlines. Up the Borough. We're going absolutely to the top of the table over the next few weeks. Join me for the ride.
Mackems and Proud. Black Cats News.
Now we're Sunderland fans ready to go into the new week. Sunderland defender Dan Ballard has a major injury doubt for Northern Ireland's home game with Denmark tonight and could face a battle to regain fitness for Saturday's return to domestic action with the Black Cats. Northern Ireland boss Michael O'Neill revealed at his press conference yesterday that Ballard was a doubtful starter against Denmark because of a hamstring issue. Ballard played the full 90 minutes on Friday as Northern Ireland were thrashed 4-0 in Finland and had been expected to retain his place for tonight's final Euros qualifier in Belfast. Elsewhere, reports say that Sunderland are keen on a deal for Luciano Rodriguez from Liverpool of Montevideo in Uruguay. It has been claimed that Sunderland chief scout Stuart Harvey has been scouting the striker, who is seen as a potential replacement for Ross Stewart, who departed for Southampton last summer in a big money move. The deal to take Stewart to St Mary's brought in around $10 million to the coffers at the Stadium Elite, with reports suggesting that Rodriguez could cost around £8 million. And finally, some Sunderland women's news. Two late goals in the top of the table clash saw the Lasses draw 1-1 with Charlton Athletic at the Valley. Black Cats keeper Claudia Moons saved a penalty from the Addicts Kaylee Green early in the second half. Tegan McGowan came off the bench on 87 minutes for Charlton and broke the deadlock before the 90 were up. But then Sunderland hit back, rising teenage star Katie Watson taking advantage of a spillage from keeper Sean Rogers. Charlton do stay ahead of Sunderland, but only on goals scored. How are the Lasses?
Ted, Rye and Steve. The North East Footy Breakfast.
Right across the northeast, the Red, the Cat and the Toon.
Now, I've sussed out how my phone went ping earlier on the show, guys, and got me a 10 quid fine. It wasn't my phone, it's the laptop behind me.
Oh.
Okay. So okay.
Connected.
So yeah, that yeah, the fine's in the jar.
You won one of your eBay auctions or something.
Yeah, that's what? Yeah, it was, yeah.
Oh, you're one of these Apple people with everything Apple.
Yeah, sadly.
Right, I've got it. That explains a lot.
What, are you not an iPhone user, Ted?
No.
No? Really?
No, not at all. No. That's why when
you're
Steve
Android.
Yeah.
I struggle to use it. I don't get how you do it. iPhone's so easy.
So he should have been the Tin Man then.
Yeah, he should have been. Yeah, he should have been. I don't get how you do it, isn't it? Have you always been Android?
Apps that aren't available in the store. Yeah. I used to have iPhone for work, and I just found them a little bit limited, to be honest.
Limited?
Yeah.
His last one was a Nokia
Android do that the
3310.
iPhone can't? I'm not trying to be a Bill Gates here, standing up for Apple, but, it doesn't really bother me. But I just want to know because I've never owned an Android before. One, because I'm not smart enough, and two, probably can't afford it. And three, again, the first point. What can the Android do that the iPhone can't?
Well, to be honest, the much of a muchness these days. I mean, there used to be big differences. For me, it's about. Do you want me to talk geeky and start talking about sort of UIs
just give us a couple of points for sure.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
See, the brand of Android that I use, I just like the operating system. I like the way it looks. It's very intuitive, and I like the fact that I can download sort of apps that aren't readily available in stores as well, and kind of open world.
Yeah, it's a bit of an upgrade since his last phone, which was a Nokia 3310.
Yes, Snake is now in colour.
Indeed. Kenny Corey joins us this morning on the show, fellas. Get in. Kenny, what type of phone do you have? Are you an Apple man or are you an Android?
It's one of these Google things, it's
an Android. It's an Android.
Android. I said Android.
Kenny's a man of taste. I like Kenny. Can we have Kenny on more?
He'd like to be if we played his song every time he comes on. Kenny, good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
How you doing? Your good lady got in touch because she was sporting a Toon radio car sticker, and then she got in touch. She went, "Hey, any chance you can play our lad's song?" So we thought, let's get you on and have a chat then.
Hi, I really appreciate the doing that. It's this song. Hi, they're all late on the time.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the
great song, by the way.
Yeah.
Hey, cheers! Thank you very much. Hi. I wrote this song. I don't like to talk about the darker days, but
you can if you want. We don't mind, mate. We don't mind.
Well, I've got my youngest son. When the matches were going on, and I seen his disappointment and upset, and sort of like. So I wrote this song sort of early, sort of 2000,
Was
2 years back now.
Was this during the Ashley era?
Yeah. That's there we go.
See, I'm a Borough fan. I can mention it. Don't worry.
All right, great. All right.
I'm just being polite.
So I wrote the song about that. So really, it's like a metaphor song,
Yeah.
So really, I wrote lyrics and composed and all that, and I thought, I'll put this together. And really, what it is it's sort of like it's like the club. If we think of the club as a living thing, which I suppose it is, isn't it? Really, and it's sort of talking to the fans, right? So when we think about how the lyrics go, it's talking about you're on my mind all the time you're on my mind, and then I say the light of the time, reflecting my thoughts through time. Well, the light on the time's the fans.
Yeah.
So it's sort of it's the club saying, don't fade away. I'm still here, and the good times will return, basically. And obviously the fans didn't, did they? They didn't fade away, and they stood strong by the team. And look what we've got now. So it's a comeback song. And at the end of it, we're talking about winning all the way. So, and that's what we do.
What do you make of the injury crisis at the minute? It's there's been some great times over the last 2 years. We've still won out. I hasten to add, but it looks as if we could have glory round the corner. What do you make of that injury crisis we've got? Do you think that'll hurt our opportunity of winning something this season?
I think it's just a bit of a small hurdle. I'm sure we'll be hitting it, to be honest, I wish I had my younger name. He's just gone off to school because he lives and breathes it, I'm a fan, obviously, but that little guy knows the ins and outs and everything about it. So he's probably the guy to really talk about over that. Like, but yeah. I mean, it's. I mean, this is. You know, it's like you say, the tune sort of talking. It's talking to fans, you know, and but I suppose there's a couple of lines, well, 2 or 3 lines actually, where I suppose it's as the club with its voice talking to someone else who isn't there, should we say?
Yeah.
So I'll leave that up to you and the other guys to know which ones are which lines.
The big question, Kenny, the big question has to be, so you wrote this in the depths of despair, looking ahead to the light, but now you're in a completely different situation as a football club. What's the next song going to be about?
Oh well, I'm always writing songs. Like, I mean, I've done me 18th song's coming out on 27th. Aye. So I've been a bit prolific in my writing, like, over the last few years. But yeah, I'll have to knock another one out, won't I?
You have to knock one out about winning the Champions League or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I'll make a note of that.
It's quite prophetic in a way, to be honest, Kenny. Because I mean, obviously, you know, it's about Newcastle. It's heavily about the Tyne, and it is really beautifully written as well, mate. I mean, I can say that open-heartedly. It's really beautifully written, mate. It's nice. It's one of those. It's nostalgic without being corny at the same time, and that's really difficult to do that. And yeah, I loved it, mate. But it's one of those where I think all fans of football clubs, you know, who've been through those naff times, we can all kind of identify with that. And it's you know, you remove the Tyne out of that, and it could also be, you know, it could just as easily be about Sunderland, about Borough as well. You know, these sort of you know, old industrial towns falling on bad times. But really nostalgic, mate. I love it, absolutely love it, mate. Well done.
Thanks very much. I mean, think about thinking about like the heritage of all these areas, really, Tyne, Weir, Tees, you know, it's the industry as well, isn't it? And I've tried to bring in a bit of a hint of the industry with like the slide guitar at the beginning and that, like, you know, a bit sort of like bit gritty, like, you know, a bit shipbuilding and tank making and you know, all of that type of stuff, like in the industry down at Teesside, you know, that type of stuff. I'm trying to bring that in with the guitars and stuff. And my good mate Chris Davison, he helped out with the drums and that, like, so.
Cracking.
Yeah.
Very good.
I love it.
I think it's time.
It's right down in Australia, mate. I just wanted to quickly ask. Obviously, you're talking about your songwriting and stuff like that. You've written on your profile about it being a mix of modern and vintage sounds, a backdrop, change, feelings, emotions, life, a journey worth travelling. A lot of sort of inspirations there. Does the music write itself for you these days, or is it always something of, you know, are you always sort of, you know, out and about and go, and does it come to you naturally, or is it something that happens? Is it something that's happened in your life and stories of your life that sort of inspire each and every one of your songs?
Well, yeah, I would say, yeah. I mean, it's, they do sort of come out of nowhere, really, like, I suppose. I always start with my lyrics first, like, and you know, I'm of a certain age, should we say, you know, knocking on 50, like, and so I sort of draw from some of that, you know, like listen to the radio and it was sort of like medium wave, long wave and all that. I mean, I know we had a bit of FM, like, but you always had a bit of crackling going on and all of that atmosphere. And I always remember thinking about Tyneside as well, come back from me granny's. We used to drive up the Derwent Valley type of thing, past, you remember the old court works, and you see all
that, like,
I used to light up the sky, didn't it, and all the sodium lights and all that type of stuff. So I try and draw in all of that stuff, and then obviously the modern thing as well. Like, but you know, I can remember Newcastle, how it was in the 70s and all that. Like, and
that's before Steve Wraith's time.
Yeah, well, I was born, but I was in a pram at the time.
I remember it, mate. Don't worry, Kenny, me and you, mate. We're from the same ilk. Don't worry. Well, let's have a listen to it then. Let's have a listen to it. So, Kenny Corey, Light on the Tyne. Love the time you've given to us this morning, mate. Thank you very much. And
thanks very much for giving us the opportunity.
All power to your writing elbow, mate, for number 19.
Cheers. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers, Kenny.
Cheers.
There you go, boys. Kenny
Wow.
Corey, Light on the Time.
You know, during it, Ted said that it sounds like the Doors, and I reckon I can't unhear that now. I reckon it's actually, that definitely reminds me of the Doors as well. What a good track, good track. And
I've
good
just had a text off Charlie Macker. You're saying sounded like early The Damned as well, which I thought was good,
very
good
like
likeness.
The
That, yeah, nice one, Charlie.
No,
yeah.
I love it.
Thanks for listening.
We've always been on the show, haven't we, about the local talents and getting the local music in there. So if you are a local artist and you're someone that's, writing songs or, getting your music out, especially if you're in a part of the Northeast, make sure you get in touch with the show in any of the few stations. And send us your music because we'll happily play it and have a chat to you on the radio and do whatever we can to help you. We know how hard it is to break into the music scene and, and also, listening to music, as long as it's, again, we've got to keep it clean. All right. Can't be
family friendly.
What's the fact? You know what I mean? So, make sure you get in touch with the shows and, or Steve, myself, Dave, all social medias as well. So Get in touch.
Ted's
and,
returning.
We'll
Ted's
have a
returning.
chat to you, and we'll get
Ted is going to be on Twitter.
He will be. Can't believe it.
The usual.
Ted the Magnum will be there.
Yeah, he will be. You can reach out. You can WhatsApp the studio 0330 043 2002. You can send us an email. All the email addresses for the 3 radio stations are very similar. hello@thecatuk.com. hello@thetoonuk.com. hello@thereduk.com. Just fire us a message, and we'll see what we can do. No promises, though,
He's not
guys.
lying. They played my song. Remember my debut release? Whoa, hang it, that was. Remember that?
Yeah.
Sadly.
Moving on.
Moving on swiftly. That's enough of that one. That's enough of that one.
Wow. Bang it. Jeez, that's good.
Okay, bit of sports news. We've still got to get our second Christmas song. The Darkness, Ted? It's Ted's choice.
Yes.
It is Ted's choice,
Honestly,
ladies and gentlemen.
Bear with me. Hold my hand. I will guide you on this journey of Christmas music.
And have I pulled the right one out? Christmas time, don't let the bells end.
That's the one.
Okay.
It's the last great Christmas song ever written.
We'll see if we can take him on his word after this. Now the jingle bells are there, fellas. The jingle bells are there. Go on, tell us, Ted.
Is that not a fantastic Christmas song?
Yeah.
What a throwback, The Darkness, eh? They are so iconic, aren't they? You know what I mean? You were telling us about seeing them at the arena, Ted.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. Justin Hawkins riding in from on the ceiling on a massive panther that was just glitter and glam rock and hair bands. It was just mate,
brilliant.
Phenomenal, great fun band, and they're still going now. I mean, I'm just telling you off air there.
That's incredible.
Roger
isn't it?
Taylor. Of
No, we don't
Queen,
talk
his
about
son
that,
now
mate. We don't
drums
talk about our conversations off air.
No, we don't. No, because some of them are frankly worrying.
Mine was actually football related. I wanted to know about Steve.
I was actually sending Rye at about 6 o'clock my time this morning. I was sending Rye cake recipes.
He was,
No.
He was. I got the Christmas cake recipe off him.
Oh, never.
Jeez. Come on. Behave
It's all
yourself.
rock and roll, isn't it, mate?
Christmas cake recipes.
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah, definitely.
I know.
And then we were deciding
Honestly,
that he's the
I'm so
Gordon
metal.
Ramsay of the group, and I'm the the Ocampo, Gino DeCampo.
Gino
That's me.
DeCampo,
So,
yeah, definitely.
and he's the Gordon Ramsay.
So what does that make Steve?
I don't know.
I've got to be Gordon
Ah,
Ramsay.
Steve's quite classy.
Wait,
Oh no,
Steve
I've got
reckons
the
he's
Gordon Ramsay one.
Ted
Steve
reckons
was
he's
quite
the angry
classy.
one.
Oh, well, if I could be Fred from First Date.
Oh yeah.
Oh well, there you go.
Because it's topical, because he's in the jungle.
Refined.
He's in the
Yes,
jungle.
true.
He is, isn't he?
I'll be Jamie
I'm not-
Oliver
I'm not-
because it'll make me feel younger.
The thought of you being a naked chef, Dave, has just made me want to give up food.
I'll tell you who I could be. I enjoy red wine, so I could be, what was he called? Floyd.
Oh,
Keith Floyd.
Keith Floyd.
Oh,
Keith
what
Floyd
a
used to get
legend,
drunk
man.
while he was cooking.
He was
Fantastic.
brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
The stuff he used to make, though, was incredible. What a guy Keith Floyd was. I mean, I find difficulty in cooking when I'm sober. So when you're doing it on a fishing boat in the North Sea and you're absolutely hammered on some Pinot, I mean, absolutely phenomenal. Great guy. Great guy.
Oh, dear. Back to the show.
Back to the trivia, I reckon.
Yeah, you're in there. You're in there. So,
Okie doke. So, I'll give you a recap of the three.
nobody's
clues that
got it, by
we've had
the
so
way.
far, then I'm gonna give you-
Nobody yet across the Northeast has got this.
Wow, I finally triumphed, hopefully. So, the three clues we've had so far. Lothar Matthäus and Jürgen Klinsmann are examples of this fact. Your second clue. San Siro, Olympic Stadium, Allianz Arena are the real homes of this fact. Third clue. This phenomenon has happened every 4 years since 1982. Your final clue. Lautaro Martinez and Kingsley Coman are the latest examples of this feat. That's Lautaro Martinez and Kingsley Coman are the latest and last examples of this feat.
Wow.
I got no idea.
I've
Stumped me.
actually stumped
yeah.
you, haven't I?
What the fact?
Well, oh, yes, Dave.
Saved it.
Now we're cooking. When do you want the answer? I don't think anyone's going to get it. I really don't.
I think what you should do is just before Daz comes on, give Daz the opportunity to get his answer in. He'll be listening to the show this morning.
He'll be driving in right now listening, yeah. He'll be driving in listening, or he might even be walking up the stairs as we speak.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Google it, Daz.
There we go.
Google it.
Google it. As he's walking on his phone. I can't even spell Lautaro Martinez.
Google it.
Do you want our readers? Do you want our readers' lives submission that we've had?
Go on then.
So
Do you want this mysterious piano music again?
No, we're all right.
It needs to be more like Benny Hill's kind of music. We need to get these jingles sorted out. So when it's readers,
that's not a bad shout.
Readers' lives need to be.
Daz will be shaking his head now, going, "More work, more work."
Why he does now, man? Does he?
We can have Barbara Winter's bra flying off.
He had a chirp back at me over the weekend on WhatsApp.
Did he?
Oh really?
Oh yeah, Dad had a chirp. He went, "Well, it's your radio station."
Oh,
sacked in the morning.
Like
He's getting sacked in the morning.
Into the radio.
I can see it now. The Ted Mid-Morning Show
2023. Hey?
The Ted Mid-Morning Show. He's straighted, isn't he? Ah, dear. It's like that little Johnny joke.
Can I have his desk?
Yeah, it's that little Johnny joke, isn't it? Little Johnny knocks on Sarah's door. Is Sarah coming out to play? Oh, I'm sorry, Johnny. You know, she passed away during the night. Oh, well, can I have a skips?
Oh no!
So anyway,
he might not be turning up. Actually, I've just realised it's 8:48. He's normally in by now.
Oh,
I'm in trouble.
There's a queue.
It might be
queue
a
at
10
Greg's.
mid-morning.
It could be a 10 mid-morning. Have you polished your discs, mate? Have you got your CD shining?
Sorry?
Imagine Ted alone by himself on a show. Can you imagine? Oh my goodness, that'd be scary. You'd be lost without us, Ted.
I used to do a podcast. The ill-fated How Are the Lads podcast lasted 2 episodes, and they ended up doing a radio show and working full time, and I didn't have time to do it anymore.
Oh, damn it. Sorry.
2 episodes of a great podcast. I'll have to send you them.
You ever done it by yourself, Steve, back in the early days, or have you always had your mates on for the podcast? The 3
podcast. I only stumbled across doing it during COVID. I needed something to something to keep us sane during lockdown, and that was how I started doing it. But I've done it one or two over the last few years where I've just literally gone on and done one on my own. I've done like a Q&A session where people have come on and asked various questions about various things. So it's I can sit and talk for an hour, no problem at all. But you're relying on viewers. If it's no good if you've got nobody watching you. I've done it, mate. It's easy enough.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I can do the watch-alongs and stuff that by myself, but I don't know. I don't know if I could do like a podcast sort of theme without.
You think you'd struggle talking? Let me just get that straight. You think you'd struggle talking? Mate, you're talking the water with a mince pie in your mouth.
Can I just say, gents, I'm really enjoying this hour, unlike the last hour when I was the butt of all end of jokes.
I was being labelled as some sort of Mac and Terry Waits last week.
Well, it's only because you were reading the news headlines in the bog.
Yeah, you thought I was chained to a radiator somewhere in Cyprus.
We did actually. We were worried.
I think next time you do them, there just needs to be this there needs to be that like vibrance and enthusiasm we get when you're on the show. I think because you're such a louder and larger than life character when you do the show, it just sounded very subdued. I think that's why I think it was me. Yeah.
You said we were worried.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were worried, and that's what made us think.
We really thought you'd been taken, locked in a cellar, and made to watch Newcastle games.
Yeah,
I tell you what, Steve was high on the list of suspects.
Oh, dear doctor. I've just had a message. I've had a message. Daz alert. I've had a message.
Daz.
Now it could be one of a number of things. It could be see
do
you
you
next.
Want a salted caramel latte at Greg's?
It could be see you next year.
It's going to be like
it could be I'll bring you a bacon butty to make up for it,
could
boss.
Could be see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, and it simply says Nearly there. He's on his way. He's on his way.
Was there a kiss at the end? Was there a kiss
no
at the
kiss,
end?
mate. No, I think I've upset him.
Oh, dear me. Do you have the occasional
on,
bit where
Dave.
you put a kiss on the end of a text?
Yeah, but it happens all the time.
Yeah, it's strangely comforting sometimes. Rai, are you a big fan? Are you a man kiss?
I'm not a man kiss. You
He's an Aussie. What do you
my old man
expect?
does though? My old man does it, and it's so weird. He puts his name at the end of the text. Like, I know it's him. Do you know what I mean? He's always do that. It's so annoying. He literally texts me.
regards, Rai's
and
dad.
his name's Mick, and he'll be like, yeah, mate, coming over soon. Regards, Mick. I'm like, I know it's you. You don't have to sign off every text. It's literally, he does it all the time. It's so frustrating. And then he's like, yeah, mate, pick that up tomorrow. Regards, Mick. I'm like, it's Mick as well. It's my dad. It's not Regards Dad. It's literally his first name as well. It's Regards Mick, like we're a business acquaintance.
Oh
my goodness.
Trying to tell you something,
son. Regards Mick. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh my goodness. But
How does he start them? Does he start them with dearest Ryan, I hope this correspondence finds you well?
I wish he did. No, he's lazy. He does 50% of it. He only signs it off weirdly. Yeah, it's weird. I'm going to start doing it now as well. See how you guys like it. In the WhatsApp, I'll be like, yeah, guys,
trying to tell you something
tomorrow. Regards, Ryan.
Oh well, I tell you what, Daz is going to be late, so I think we should get into this before we end. I think we need the answer. We need the answer, but give us the clues first. So first and foremost, what's it called again?
It's What the Fact.
Okay, what the fact? Now give us the fact.
Okay. Honestly, Mrs. Ted was so worried I was going to mess that up. Anyway, she's going to be so proud of me.
Oh, he's here! He's here! He's here! Yeah, he's here!
He's brought the pumpkin spice.
There's no pumpkin spice latte in his hand, no.
No,
He's got boxing gloves on.
Now.
I'm worried. He's got
salted caramel with cream.
He's got boxing gloves on. I'm worried.
Good morning.
Morning,
Daz.
How are we, mate?
I'm really good, thank you.
Regards, Steve.
We've been made aware of Dave's absolute disgusting nature towards you, Daz, and we want to say from the North East Wrecking Show, we're behind you. We stand with you, mate. We stand with you, Daz. All right?
Solidarity.
All right? It's our radio, not his, mate. That's it. It's ours. All right?
You've lost the piano music. That's it.
Oh, I wanted the music because I've got the answer.
Oh, you got the answer?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
Have you really?
Here we go. Let's build up to it then. Young Ted
All right, so
in Cyprus.
I'll give you the 4 clues.
Give us the facts.
Go again.
The clues were Lothar Matthäus and Jurgen Klinsmann are examples of this fact.
Yep.
San Siro, Olympic Stadium, Allianz Arena are the real homes of this fact.
Yes.
Third clue was this phenomenon has happened every 4 years since 1982. And finally, Lautaro Martinez and Kingsley Coman are the last examples of this feat.
Yeah, I think it was the last one that gave it to me. Ladies and gentlemen of the Northeast, the answer is Mario Balotelli.
I'm so disappointed in you right now. That's a bigger disappointment than I am to my parents.
I knew it. Well, that's it. He's gotten it. Tell me it's true, Ted. That's it, right? That's got to be it.
And unfortunately not.
That's not the right answer.
No way. It's Germans. I'm telling you, it's Germans. They happen every 4 years.
Germans. Do you want the answer?
Go on then.
Yeah, go on.
Hang on. Before we get the answer, we've got to do one of these, okay? You ready? Oh, hang on. That's got to stop first. Daz, how do you use this? There we go. The answer is?
At least one player from both Bayern Munich and Inter Milan have been involved in every World Cup final since Italy's win over West Germany in 1982.
Brilliant.
No way. What a fact. Oh my goodness.
Isn't that an absolute humdinger?
That's a banger, that.
Wow.
How on earth?
How's someone broken that down?
Honestly, it's
blown
amazing.
away.
I mean,
There are some
I'll send
sad
you the
people
link
in the
then.
world.
Bayern Munich and Inter Milan, every World Cup since when?
They've had a player from each team in every
Yeah.
World Cup final since 1982.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
That's
Wow.
a great
That's
stat.
incredible.
When you
Great
think
stat.
Inter didn't really win a lot in
No,
some of that
exactly.
time as
Inter
well,
haven't
so
been, yeah.
it's even more of an impressive feat. That there you go.
Yeah, not wrong.
Did you
Wow.
say Inter or
And Kingsley
AC?
Coman, yeah.
Inter. Okay.
Inter and Bayern. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you've
Brilliant,
stunned us
lads.
all. Yeah. That's.
Hey, that's a great
I was
start.
close.
Smoke
Yeah,
right now.
I was
you were
close.
very close. You were very
Close.
close. Yeah.
I'm just close. Yeah.
If I'd have said
close.
Germans and Italians, would that have been even closer? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I guess so. Yes. Yeah. Well, there you go.
Well,
There'll
stunned,
be more, I'm sure,
shocked,
later on in the week.
shocked and stunned. That's it.
I think the reason we didn't get it, it's a disgrace. It's abysmal. It's a disgrace we didn't get it. It's
Yeah, if there's any Liverpool fans listening, they'll probably want to replay it.
Okay.
Hey.
I do have Arteta, but we've run out of time. Okay, fellas, we've done it all for another morning. Same nonsense tomorrow morning. Whose turn is it to sort the show out?
I'll do it.
There you
Baby
go.
boy.
Good lad, Steve.
Take one step forward, Steve Wraith. Good
We'll
luck.
actually talk about football tomorrow.
Do you think so?
Maybe.
Oh, wow.
England's defeat.
Thanks, lads.
Boys, catch you tomorrow.
Talk
Tense
about
Great show.
nonsense.
Well.
See you later. Have a good one, Daz.
See you later.
Cheers, have a good
Daz is next with all his mid-morning nonsense across the northeast.
From Yarm to Yibby, Harrington to Horsley Hill, Swalwell to Silverlink. The Northeast Footy Breakfast with Roy, Steve and Ted.
Right across the northeast, the red, the Toon and the cat.